Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens or onto headphones. How are you watching this? I'm Eddie, and this is The Rollback. Folks, today I'll be covering probably the best Adam Sandler movie I've seen in a very long time. I haven't seen Uncut Gems, but nonetheless, I'm going to be talking about Hustle, a movie that came out on Netflix. It's about quote here, here's the official synopsis. Let me read this official. After a down-on-his-luck basketball scout discovers an extraordinary player abroad, he brings the phenom back without his team's approval. And that's the actual synopsis. There's actually a lot more to it than that, but let's talk about the cast real quick, because this cast surprisingly has quite a bit on it. We have Adam Sandler playing Stanley Sugarman, Stan the Man, 22, depending on how you call him. He's the down-on-his-luck scout who broke his hand when he was younger. There's a big plot story behind that we'll talk about in a sec. We also have one Miss Queen Latifah playing his wife, and Miss Teresa Sugarman, which, bit of an odd combination, but strangely enough, it works. They feel like a truly loving couple. They feel like two people that genuinely care about each other. She also has just the right amount of sass to balance them out. It's cute. I like it. I like their little interactions. We also have one bastard, Ben Foster, playing Vince Merrick. He's the 76ers. He's the son of the 76ers owner. He takes on ownership. He's a bit of a, how do I say this, corporate douchebag. Daddy's money corporate douchebag. Entitled Daddy's money corporate. He just ticks all the boxes of asshole, pretty much. Anyone that's ever worked for a company that then has to deal with the son of the guy who initially opened it, you know what I'm talking about when I say this dude, no respect. Fuck this guy. That said, the dude I really want to talk about, this guy, one Mr., and I'm going to butcher all this, and I'm sorry, Mr. Juancho Hernan Gomez. I know I'm butchering that. I'm going to call him Bo Cruz for this review, because I typically like to call these characters by their in movie character names. So, Bo Cruz. Fucking phenomenal. And I'm not gonna say he's the greatest actor of all time, but his performance was rock fucking solid in this movie. He's the talent that came from abroad that Stanley's willing to stake his entire career on. Which, man, you can't help but like this guy and cheer for him. He does so many little things that make you fuck, I want this guy to succeed, not just for himself but for his family, for his mother and his daughter. Yeah, you can't help but love the guy. Lastly, we have one Mr. Robert Duvall, who plays Rex Maverick. He's only in the film for a bit of a spot. He's kind of almost like a fatherly figure to Stan. I don't know Stan's home situation, but yeah, he's pretty much like a father figure. He always believed in Stan, makes him an assistant coach the day he passes away. The promotion sticks until it doesn't, and that's kind of the crux of this whole story. So Stan has been a scout for a number of years, I think 9 years, and finally, he gets an assistant coaching position. He can finally be at home with his family a lot more often, which is, you can understand that. You can't help but cheer for a guy who just wants to fucking be home with his family. How can you not? And then Vince decides to be an asshole. After Stan told him the dude that you're trying to draft is going to be a bust, drafts him, he's a bust. Vince, you think, is going to be more receptive to Stan's input, but inevitably he says, hey, I need you to go back out there and find me another superstar, and when you do, you can come back, which Stan fucking does. There's actually a bit of a heart-pulling moment which comes up later on as a fuck you, but we'll get to that, where Stan says, I haven't been home for my daughter's birthday in, I think, he says 9 years. Vince doesn't even have the balls to look him in the eye. He just says, go find someone for me. Go fix my fuck up, which, yeah, makes sense. And Stan finds this guy, finds Bo Cruz playing street ball, but he isn't. See, I'm not a basketball guy, but even I understand what they were doing here. He's an unselfish, hardworking player. He's got a lot of raw talent. He's very raw. But he has a lot of potential that Stan sees. When Vince doesn't want to bring him in, Stan says, well, fuck you, I'm going to bring him anyway, pays his bills for a bit to try and get him in and get him in the draft. Obviously, Bo has a bit of a past, something that him and Stan can both talk about. Bo was arrested back in his country back in Spain for an assault. And the media kind of spins it as oh, this guy is unprofessional and whatnot. Turns out he assaulted his baby mama's boyfriend for trying to take their daughter away from Bo so they can get money from the government. And he kind of lost his shit. He was 17 also. He was a stupid kid. Which, I mean, if you're going to lose your temper at something, yeah, that's fair, man. That's fair. Yeah, fuck that guy. Now, also, Stan has a past as well. He is actually very well respected in the basketball community. One night on a drunken run, they hit a pole. He saved his friend from dying. He cost all the rest of his friends a chance at a championship and broke his hand, thus ending his career. But he paid his penance. He paid his dues. He spent, I think, 6 months in jail. He made up for it. He's also like such a goofy guy. Like Stan is just a guy that you can't help but love and root for. And honestly, the moment that sold me on Bo, the one moment that made me go, I love this guy, is he's never flown on a plane before. And so when he's on the plane, he's in first class. Stan gives him a seat, like, hey, you're going to sit in first class. I'll sit in coach, don't worry. Bo gets some bread and goes to the middle of the plane. And he says, Stan, look, they're warm. Like, he's just so fucking happy. Like, it's like, like, that's, you know, it's nice. It's nice. And then he asks him, like, do you want one? Like, he's being a nice guy. Like, Bo is initially shown to be a very pure-hearted person. And unfortunately, though, some people take advantage of that, including his interactions with one, I want to say Zachary? Or Zacchaeus? Bad dude that keeps trying to fuck with Bo throughout the whole movie that you want to say, you know, this guy, douche. No, don't like. Anyway. So the whole film is just Bo coming up. It's a Rocky story, for the most part. These training sequences are insane, but you can't help but cheer for him. You know, him running up the hill, running out that hill. I'm sorry, that song's popular right now. I'm getting off topic. So yeah, Bo's training sequences are great, but you see the hard work, you see the dedication. Stan even tells him, do you like to play basketball or are you obsessed with basketball? Because you're talented. You've got the raw talent. But you need to be obsessed with it. You need to be willing to do this every single day, day in and day out, for hours and hours and hours. Can you do that? Which he does. These basketball drills are insane. Stuff I didn't know that basketball athletes have to do, like throwing the ball through the thing as they're bouncing. This shit's nuts to me. But it works. It does. And you can't help but root for Bo. And it's a story of a lot of ups and a lot of downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. You just can't help but enjoy it. In the end, Vince is forced to take a step back. His sister taking over the 76ers. Stanley is made the assistant coach. And you see the last shot, and I love it, is Bo. Oh, there's also one really great sequence where Stan's daughter asks Bo, like, what's the point of all your tattoos? And he says, all of these are for my mother and my daughter. And she says, well, what about this arm? And he's like, this is for my father. Because his father was never around. His arm is clean. And then there's the talk about the oak tree. You know, like, you've been my oak. You've been the person I can lean on. You're strong. I think Stanley is trying to be your oak. Right? Like, that's what the mother says to Bo. At the end, Bo has a tattoo and has Stanley's name on it, and it's an oak tree. Like, oh, God, if that doesn't get you that hard, I don't know what will, man. Like, it's a great movie. But the last sequence is Bo is with the Celtics, Stanley's with the 76ers, and they're about to go toe-to-toe. But you still see the love between the two, like this loving father-son relationship almost. And then when Stanley goes back to his team, he tells one of his guys, hey, 22? Oh, also, that's another thing. Stanley's number is 22. Bo's wearing 22. But he tells one of his players, hey, man, if he hangs back, he's going to do this. If he goes forward, he's going to do this. Make sure you take care of him because he's tough. Because it's just nice. I don't know. It's a nice, feel-good movie. It's what you want. It's what you want to see. Man, like, there's so much goodness in this. I typically try to include some cons in this, but I can't really think of anything. Maybe it's too short? I don't know. Like, it's a great movie. Go watch it. It's amazing. For this movie, I'm going to give it an A. Obviously, it might be my favorite Adam Sandler performance of the last 10 years. I haven't seen Uncut Gems. Nothing really makes me want to see it, if I'm being honest. But yeah, Adam Sandler, probably at his best. Yeah, can't think of anything else that holds a candle. That's it. That's going to end it for this episode of The Rollback. Please like and subscribe. We'd always greatly appreciate it. We're always trying to grow this channel. That said, yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye, everyone.